Welcome to my YouTube channel, Surowicz Watercolor. This video is one in a series of videos I'm doing of Christmas cards for 2020. I hope you enjoy this, and if you do enjoy my channel, be sure to subscribe by clicking on the icon in the lower right hand corner if you haven't already. And if you do like this video, be sure to like it and share it with others. This snowy covered bridge scene is my 2020 Christmas card number 5. You can find the link for the template for this in the description of the video. Hi everybody, I am in my studio and this is the 5th Christmas card in my series of 2020 Christmas cards. It has a picture of a little covered bridge with some very tall trees around it. This is taken from a scene that's near me. A photograph I had taken, and it has some very tall trees around this covered bridge, and I think this would look nice as a snowy scene. So I'm going to take my masking fluid with this old toothbrush, and I dipped it in soapy water so it'll help it clean up, and I'm going to splatter. Got a little too much coming off there. I'm going to splatter the masking fluid, and I'm going to also strike the brush against my hand. I had a little bit of too much water in there from rinsing it out. Should have taken more of that out, but what I'll do is I'll let this dry, and then I'll pull up any of these areas that I feel are too large of a splatter mark or a drip. But this is going to be a very snowy scene. Make sure I get all the areas. Alright, so that's all there is to it. Now I'm going to let this air dry, and then I'll begin to paint it. Hi everybody, I'm back in my studio, and here I have the 5th card in my series of 2020 Christmas cards. So this is a little scene with a covered bridge and some tall trees around it, and we'll have some snow here, and I've already put down masking fluid and let it air dry to give me the pattern of snow falling. So I'm going to start with a sky wash here. I'm taking some royal blue. I'm going to gray it down a little bit so it's more of a kind of an icy cold day. So I will add some quinacridone and burnt orange to that royal blue. Give me more of a gray blue. And then I'm going to bring this wash down using a large wash brush. And bring it right down to the snow line there. Go. So it's just a light wash. Now with that masking fluid, sometimes it creates areas where it blocks the flow of the paint. I'm working out an incline, so I'll just go around with a damp brush and pick up any of the excess moisture. So now I have this tall tree line. So I want to give the suggestion of this kind of tall area of trees, but it's a snowy day, so it's not going to be real clear. I'm just going to drop, working wet and wet, some color into this. That was a little too strong. Had some paint on my raw paint there on my brush. So let's drop this in. I'm going around this covered bridge. Still using my wash brush. Pick up the excess moisture, and if I want, I could go a little darker around the base, maybe cooler probably. We'll go a little darker here. I'll maintain my edge. And that's going to dry lighter than what I have there. I don't want to lose the snow on the roof, so blot that off. Now let me dry this. Now that's dry, I'm going to take some cerulean blue with a little pyro red and a little bit more red in that mixture, and I'm going to take a little raw sienna maybe. More mixture. I'm going to paint this covered bridge. It's kind of a red tone, but I don't want it to just to be barn red. So I'm going to use a combination of colors here. I don't want to get too red, but I want to show enough that it is red. I have my little covered bridge here. I'm not going to go too crazy with it. Then I'm going to dry that before I paint the inside there. I'm going to paint that dark, but I want to keep a clean edge. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a number 3 rigger brush. And I'm going to start to paint in these tall trees. Fairly light value though. This covered bridge does have very tall trees around it. The actual bridge that I took this from. I'm also going to take my number 1 liner brush, which will be a little finer. Let's make some of these tree trunks. Now let's take the number 1 liner brush. I'll make some branches with that. And I let those kind of get lost because it's a snowy day. This might be dry enough. I'm going to paint inside that bridge, and I'll use a kind of a dark value mixture of royal blue and raw quinacridone burnt orange. Paint inside that. Get a little warmer mixture. I want to have some warm and cool inside this dark value that I'm putting in. So I'm going to paint under here as if it's some shadows. Actually make it look like there's some boards there, which there are. Get a little darker there and a little better edge. I've got some areas to outline here, help define the edge. I might clean this edge up a little bit once I remove the masking fluid. I'll show you how I'm going to do that. But first, and let me blot that. I want to break that shape up a little. I just took out a lot of what I put in there. Let's try that again. It was a little too black for me, a little too raw. All right, so there we have our snowy landscape. Couldn't think of the word there. So we'll leave that. Now let me dry this. I want to get some clean color here. So I'll take a little bit of, I'm going to take my wash brush. I'm going to take some cobalt blue that has a little bit of a warm color in it to tone it down a little. I want to give the feeling of some, we're looking at some snow on the ground, just give some shadows. Just light shadows, maybe a few pockets of some dark, maybe here towards the foreground, help differentiate the values. But I want to have some of this color here because I want the texture of the snow to show. Let me put a little of this on the rooftop there. So maybe still a little darker here. I'm going to lose. Working wet and wet. I like that edge there. All right, let me pick up the excess. Let's see. I want some of that, a little bit of a darker tone in a few spots. Just fuss with it here till I like the shape that I have. Alright, I'm gonna probably leave that alone. I think I can go with that. Alright, now let's try this again and take the masking fluid off. Now I'm going to take my pickup eraser, I'm going to lift off the masking fluid. And I think what I want to do is I'm going to paint in a little bit on this bridge because I had a lot of masking fluid there. And I've lost some of the definition of that shape, so I'm going to bring some of that back with just a little bit of brush work. Strengthen that. Let's see. I'm painting around a few of these light areas, these dots, the pattern. Just strengthen that. Now I'm going to dry this. I want to have maybe a little whiter area on that roof, a cleaner edge. Yeah, so I'm going to dry this and just make a little sharper, lighter edge. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take some tape, this is drafting tape, I'm going to put it on that edge. A piece this way, the angle, and a little bit back here. I'm going to take a magic eraser, one of these magic erasers, I'm going to dampen it. I'm going to lift out just to clean that edge up. So that gives me just a little bit better edge on that. And dry it. Sharpen the corner back here. There we are. All right, a little bit more masking fluid on here. Get rid of that. Let me take the tape off I have around the edge. It's about 1/8 of an inch. And there you have a snowy covered bridge scene. And that's number 5 in my series of 2020 Christmas cards. So I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for watching, and be sure to look at my other videos for the other Christmas cards.